you know, it's just it's giving a word to the same process that you're talking about. That what you do for others will come back to you.
I was thinking about karma. It's got this connotation, hasn't it? It's like,
has it?
Yeah, I think it's got this. It's a slightly distorted. There is a distortion, I think, between karma and what I'm saying, because karmic is more, you know, I think it's a bit more than what goes around comes around.
It's certainly what goes around comes around is entirely
It's what goes around comes around and bites you up the backside, basically.
No, karma isn't always bad. Actually, there's 3 types of karma. Karma, akarma and vikarma. Karma actually, in the Vedic sense, is actually doing good things that will come back to you in a good sense. That's actually what karma is generally defined as in the Vedas. You're quite right to say that it's been taken and has connotations. You know, you stub your toe, it's karma. You know, mate. You know, but you know, so karma is generally considered to be actually positive activities that we do to benefit others, knowing that that's sort of some kind of response will come back from the universe in a good way to us.
Yeah.
Vikarma is things which actually go against other people's interest and come back on you.
Okay, so this is where the ethical thing would come in.
And then there's akarma, activities which actually don't produce karma, don't produce reactions in the world.
Like neutral.
They're not because they're neutral, because they're done on a higher plane.
Example?
Where you're doing, well, this is when you're actually acting on a spiritual platform where you're doing something for no reason other than it is entirely in tune with the spiritual nature of the world. And therefore you're not trying to reap reactions from it.
Right.
As long as you want to reap a reaction,
yes, I see what you're saying.
You are subject to the karmic returns, good or bad.
Yes.
But once you are acting on a level that goes beyond any kind of personal motivation, you actually get to a stage of akarma, when you are not bound to receive the reactions. I said, you know, sometimes the you know, gurus and things give an example that if a soldier under direction at war goes and fights and kills someone, you know, he's considered a hero.
Yes.
He's killed someone, but it was under higher authority, if you like. It wasn't done for his own personal thing. It was done for the protection of his family or, you know, nation or whatever.
Yes.
Now, I'm not necessarily in favour of going killing people, you know, in wars for any purpose.
Yes.
But as an example,
yeah, no, I understand.
There is a difference in that behaviour than if he gets drunk on a Saturday night at the end of his tour of duty and shoots the barman.
Okay.
He's done for murder.
Right.
That was a personal thing that he did. He takes the full responsibilities. Whereas when you act, you can even kill people in human society, you know, and be rewarded as a hero. So we've got this huge dichotomy. It's not the action,
isn't it?
It's not the action that is the difference.
Yeah.
But there's the intent and the circumstances and the, you know, the context of the action.
So how does this relate to what I was saying? Are you saying then that I should not be coming in with an expectation that the water's going to come back to me? Well, I didn't say that. You added that.
No.
Now, the thing about what goes around...
You said that actually, I know that I'm doing this, and you know, you're a very generous person anyway, so it's not part of your mentality. You would do it just for the joy of doing it. And that's actually...
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make, you see. If everyone shared for the joy of sharing, you know, I still believe the universal laws take effect, but it's not, for me personally, it's not, oh great, I'll give, you know, 200 bags of flour to Martin because I know that someone will give me 200 bags. I mean, or more. Yeah, so some people say it'll come back to you tenfold. I don't know where that comes from, but, you know, okay, it's a possibility, right? But no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if I share, if I'm willing to share, right, the premise on that sharing must be that I'm, in a sense, what I'm giving away, right, I either don't need, or I'm giving, you know, for the greater good, for myself, and, you know, because it doesn't matter to me, you know. but it's not really that either. It's I'm sharing because, you know, there's always enough. I'll give it to you. If you really want 2 jugs of water, have my jug, Martin, you know. That's the point. So maybe I didn't explain it well, but that's the sort of element.
Yes. I mean, I think, you know, this is a very interesting kind of line here, because there's a number of different issues kind of overlapping
I know,
here.
Yes.
My point was that I'm just a little cautious, and when trying to encourage ethical thinking and benevolence and sharing thinking, I don't think it is helpful, almost in the same breath, to talk about, you know, the value, you know, something that will be returned. It's, if you like, it's. I think it's true. You know, I think the world always responds to generosity, but to encourage, to discuss that as an incentive, is almost to root people in their selfishness.
Yes.
And I think.
Well,
it's see, the Vedas actually again back to, you know, as you know, I'm a great believer in the Vedic culture. The Vedic culture does it. It says, if you're on this level, you know, you need a little encouragement. So therefore you kind of think, yeah, if I'm kind to others, it'll come back to me. Okay, that'll take you along there. Now you guys, you're kind of already a little bit, you know, would you like to think of it really just in terms of doing nice things, you know, because, you know, it's the right thing to do, you know? And then, as you said, you know, I'm sharing, you know, because ultimately, what do I need? You know, if others feel they need it, you know, I'm happy to give, and actually seeing their pleasure is my pleasure. It's a higher level. So there's all sorts of different levels.
Yes.
Now, each one of us is on all of these levels in different ways.
Yes. Yes.
You know, at times I'm greedy and selfish and need to be reminded.
Or I'm anxious about.
Or I'm anxious.
Yeah, I'm anxious about. Why would you be
at
greedy?
Other times,
because you're anxious that you're not going to get enough, right?
And other times, I might feel I'm, you know, I can be in the spirit of, because certain things I may be detached about, and certain things I'm very possessive about.
Yeah.
You know, we're such a mixture of things.
And do you know what the key string that holds this together? Ownership, right? Our perception of ownership. Right.
Which is a very
if there wasn't this element of this is my jug of water, right? My jug of water. Okay. If there was no ownership element, right, then none of this.
But then the question is,
you know, the whole thing would fall down.
And then the question is, why do I need to have a sense of ownership?
Exactly.
It's security, because I need to secure my supply of water so that the thing that I think I need, this drink, will be there now and tomorrow, and you know,
and you wouldn't have to have that concept of security if you absolutely knew, and you had complete faith that there would always be water every day for you to drink. Do you know, from wherever source?
Here's an interesting example of that. The Vedas talk about Brahminical mentality.
Brahminical mentality.
This is, you know, I mean, again, you know, if you think karma has, but no, this is the Brahmins, as in the kind of the intellectual, priestly kind of realm. You know, of course, this is all seems to go back to casteism, but actually, what the Vedas are talking about is Brahminical as a kind of attitude that some people have and others don't necessarily have. And the idea is that a Brahmin, in order to live up to that, to be living that kind of philosophy, whatever you receive today, you give away before nightfall. Anything that you receive, money, clothes, donations, gifts.
What, the same thing, or it doesn't matter?
Everything. No, you give the lot away. You give it all away.
Okay, cool.
So that you go to bed with nothing, and you wake up tomorrow morning with nothing.
So every night you go to bed with nothing. I like that.
And you wake up the next morning,
and someone will come along the next day and give you something.
Yeah,
that's the perfect society.
No, well, it's not a society. It's actually not every. What the Vedas say is not everyone can really do that.
Why not?
Because it takes a while for us to get our consciousness in this.
Okay, subject to time.
You know, but for those who wish to claim,
I mean, it's a metaphor for life, isn't it? We come in, we're born, right?
Well, that's
and at the dying, do we take anything with us when we die? I don't think so. We go away with nothing.
Well,
right?
that's right. You know, and in order to practice that understanding and show that you're realised in it, you do it in all the little bits in between.